I don't like somebody saying something.
Thank you. Great.
Oh, that wasn't my system.
Oh,
Page 6.
oh, yeah, yeah, did you see my email?
No.
The reason why is that's what they'll look like in the minute book, so that's page
Ah, I
5,
see.
and that's pages 6 through 10.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
why.
Okay.
That's it. I was telling Jimmy, we've got a 18-page contract with this guy.
Yeah. Is this some links to some other,
Yeah, that's
another
right.
103
That's right.
pages? Which contract's that?
So, USIC finally responded, and they said there is no annual fee. That they charge that for smaller companies that don't have as many located. But we have enough, there's no annual fee. But he did send over the standard agreement. That's for them, so.
Okay, so, yeah, if you want, have you emailed it to me already?
Not yet, because he just sent it, so I'm printing them now, but I can email it to you as well. I thought if anything, we could have them as a vendor and for approval of the contract, authorize T to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll work.
All right, yeah, I'll be glad to look at it. All right.
Hopefully those are done printing. We'll see.
Gentlemen, hey. Hey. Derek. For everybody, the talk at the beauty shop is we're not speaking into the microphones for people that's watching the meeting. So, all righty.
Okay, okay.
We'll let Chuck be the judge of that one. We got insurance. Not the other. All right, don't take that. Don't do it, Mason, on me.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, sir.
This is USIC.
Did you notice the limit, Robbie?
Yes, what was that?
It's good. Did you notice?
What do you mean?
You got $10 million umbrella.
Oh, I didn't. I hadn't even looked at it.
Yep.
Good, Dan?
What's up, Jim?
How are you? Good, good to see you.
Are these?
How are you?
How are you?
Yep.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you.
Evening. It is 7:00 p.m. on Thursday, February the 12th, 2026, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Let's please rise and have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Rigsby, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Sure. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for all your good graces that you have bestowed upon us. Please keep us in your prayers and thoughts as we move forward tonight doing the people's business. Please keep all those out there that are hurting tonight in your prayers as well. Amen.
Amen. Okay, I'd like to review the agenda. We have any comments, any additions, deletions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would like to recommend that we remove the presentation, the remote presentation from Ms. Randolph on the grounds that I believe she needs to be here in person.
Any discussion?
I would much rather this done in person, but it's also February, and I think it might be best to just go ahead and do this, rather than put it down the road to March. We're talking about an audit on a fiscal year that ended on June 30th, so it's been a minute since the year's been over, but I completely understand wanting to do this in person.
We're paying for full service, and now we're not getting an auditor here, and we're having to print our own reports. It just concerns me.
I've got mixed feelings about it, but I'll second the motion, just to get a vote. And I don't know which way I'm gonna vote. Real mixed feelings, and I think some of the rest of us do too. Actually, what Derek said is kind of what I believe.
I understand we want to get it behind us, but
Is there a statutory limitation on when we need to hear this?
No, I think the statutory requirements were met with the submission of the audit by December 31st, but I think from a practicality standpoint, it's February. I mean, I could go either way.
I can too. We do have the audit. The audit's right here. So, I guess it's available to the public. Is it available to the public?
Well, it'll be added to the website, absolutely. I was waiting for the presentation to actually add it to the website. Every other year is on the website.
If someone from the public wanted it right now, it's available to them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it is available to them, so that's, I said the same thing you said, Derek, that we talked about it, so. But I still think if you want to take a vote on it, we can vote on it.
it's one of the most important things we do. I find that our citizens, they may not pay attention to a lot of things we do, but when you start talking about their money, their interest seems to peak.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I would offer, if the citizens that are here that looked at the agenda, they're expecting to see an audit presentation.
If I can add one thing, and Cindy, this is your contract, so if I'm misinterpreting, let me know. But I think what I'm reading here is that it's to be presented no later than 45 days after the submission to the secretary. And if it was submitted on the 31st, that was 43 days ago.
That's correct. But you guys have no FPICs either, financial performance indicators of concern. So really, a lot of people do this remote. especially with it being a 6-hour drive, 3 hours there, 3 hours back, so. And of course, I had a conflict. I had to be at this other audit at 5:30 board meeting because they had issues with their report. You guys have no issues.
And you said it was not in the contract that it's supposed to be done in person, is that correct? That's what you just told me. a little
It's
bit ago.
not.
I'm talking
I
to
don't
Robbie.
even think, I'm not even sure that I have to present to you guys with no FPICs.
Well, I mean, certainly the contract says you got to present, but I do agree that there's no special verbiage in there about presenting in person. We can address that next time around. You know, everybody's here, everybody's together. I don't love it, but it's on the agenda. It's been advertised. We all have copies of the audit. She's pretty much telling us it's a pretty good audit, so, I mean, I guess I'd.
Well, just take a quick vote, and let's do it, let's go one way or the other.
Okay, we'll call a question then, ready for the vote?
What's the motion?
And the motion is to remove it from this agenda? Is that right?
Continue it till it can be presented in person.
So that's the motion and a second. So we'll take the vote. Mr. Rigsby,
No.
Mr. Foy,
Yeah, I'd like to hear it too, so I'm gonna go no.
Yeah, I'm no too.
and Jimmy, you're no?
Yeah.
Mr. Jones?
I am aye.
And I am no. So with that,
And my reason for it is it's not in the contract. I mean, like I say, me and Derek has spoke about it, and we both would like to have somebody in person, but we are where we are, it is this month, so.
Okay. I'm a little, I realize we're voting on the agenda here, but I'll make a follow-on motion that the next audit we have done be required to be presented in person here in 2027, 26, 27. So everybody knows what we expect, what we want to see.
that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I'll second that motion. We had that discussion, some of us had that discussion too. But it was not in this contract, so. I don't know if this is a proper time to do that, but we could definitely do it. I'll second it if that's proper time.
That's right, and we could, to accommodate schedule, we could have a special meeting if you wanted to, if we ran the same calendar problem we had this year, the weather and everything else being a problem.
If council and the town attorney thinks it's more appropriate, I'd like to add an agenda item so we can have this discussion at the end of this meeting and give me the opportunity to make the same motion.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's your agenda, so yes, you can certainly ask to add that to the agenda of this meeting.
Robbie, when are you putting out the request for qualifications again?
So-
You'll do that again, right?
Yes, the plan is to have that RFP ready by the March meeting, which is March the 12th. And Kim and I would advise that we have a deadline of April the 6th, which is the Monday before the 6th. The 6th, that's the Monday before the,
Mr. Mayor,
And Robbie, you
Yes.
need to put that in the RFP, that the auditor needs to be in person.
okay, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I will withdraw my motion and make a request that we add to the agenda a discussion about audit presentation in person at the end of this meeting, everywhere you want to place it.
Okay, would that be an item 13A perhaps?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. We'll make that item 13A. Okay, back to the approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve with the addition of item 13A.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I'm aye.
And I'm also aye. Okay. That brings us to item number 3. That's the presentation of the Town of Stokesdale Independent Auditor's Report for the 24-25 fiscal year by Cindy Randolph, CPA LLC.
Okay, so I need to go ahead and present.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the audit has been, of course, you guys know this, because I just heard you say that, but they changed the, due date of the audit till December 31st, for each year instead of October 31st. The audit has been submitted to the Local Government Commission and it has been approved by the Local Government Commission. The town did have a Yellow Book audit, meaning that you spent over $100,000 in state funding for the year. Now, Robbie, do you have the audit up in PDF on the screen?
I don't, but I certainly can pull that.
Because we did mail those hard copies to you guys. And I'm sure you haven't received them yet.
No, that's right. We haven't received them yet. I did, somebody from your office had called yesterday and said they were mailing them. But we didn't receive them. We went to the post office today, this morning at least.
Okay.
But Ms. Randolph, the town council all has a physical copy of the audit that Robbie printed out for us. But for those in the audience, we're getting it up on the screen right now.
Okay, perfect. I did issue an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. That is the normal type of opinion you'd want in the audit of your financial statements. I'm going to hit a few points. As of June 30th, 2025, the governmental funds reported a combined ending fund balance of $3,282,186. And Robbie, if you'll flip to page, I'll tell you where to go.
Okay.
So everybody can see that. It's Exhibit 3, page 14. And if you look down under your total fund balances, that's the number I'm getting, the $3,282,186, with a net increase in fund balance from the previous year of $106,487. So your unassigned fund balance, and if you look at Exhibit 3 on page 14, unassigned fund balance is $3,153,027. So your unassigned fund balance represents 386% of your general fund expenditures. Okay, if you'll flip to page 19, Exhibit 8. This is your enterprise fund, which is your water fund. It reported an ending net position of $5,832,318, and this is an increase of $605,052 from the previous year. Now, Robbie, let's flip back. The schedule I really like to talk about is, let's flip back to page 38,
Okay.
which is your general fund. And this is compared to budget. And you can see there, you've got your budget, your actual, your variance, and then you've got prior year actual numbers. Total revenues in the general fund increased $46,959 from the previous year. The main increase in revenues is due to the state funding. You guys received $175,000. You can look on page 38 of state funding. Your total expenditures in general fund remain very comparable to the previous year, and that is on page 40. Total expenditures, $816,092, which is, it was a small increase of about $2,100 from the previous year. You guys had close monitoring of expenditures during the year. Actual expenditures in the general fund were below the budgeted amount by $96,105. That's why you do budget amendments. If you would be over your budget amount, that is a state statute violation, and you would be written up for that, but you guys did not have that. Okay, let's flip on to page 41. Your water fund. Total revenues in the water fund increased a little over 45,000. That increase mainly due to your water sales. The expenditures in the water fund increased by 96,481. And so your revenues over expenditures in your water fund, and this is on page 42, change in net position or your revenues over your expenditures, $605,052. You guys still have, of course, in the previous year, in 2024, we deferred some of the ARPA funds. We spent most of those in 24, 25. You still have deferred a little over $40,000 in your American Rescue funds. Now, as a part of submitting this audit to the Local Government Commission, we have to go through what they call logos, which is how the retirement system is submitted, all the retirement payments. I'm required to fill out a unit information form that the Local Government Commission has put out for each municipality in North Carolina. And this sheet, in this data information sheet, it lets me know, like I was talking about, the financial performance indicators of concern, or your FPICs. I am happy to say for 2024-25, the town passed all the trends and the performance indicators. So you guys do not have to answer to the Local Government Commission on any concerns at all. You had passed, and they have certain things that they put out there. You're one of the very few ones that do not have any financial performance indicators. That's a quick overview, guys. Any concerns, questions?
Ms. Randolph, my name's Derek Foy. I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Could we go back to page 14?
Uh-huh.
Towards the bottom of the page, on fund balances, I'm looking at restricted funds. There's an amount of $23,500. And then, so I'm noting that amount, and then I'm turning to page 27. And
Okay.
it referenced this is committed for public safety, and that it was assigned by the board for the purchase of a public safety vehicle. I'm wondering if that statement, and this is an internal question from my colleagues, might have been carried over from a previous year, because that is not something that this board has voted to commit future monies on.
Kim, you'll have to answer that, because that's been since I took this over. And like I say, Kim and Robbie, they both had drafts of this to review through. So you guys need, Kim, you'll need to comment on that.
Okay, I'm trying to find where we're at here.
About middle of the page, Kim.
I'm looking.
Evidently, at some point in time,
It
the
was
board
back in the
committed 23,500 for a purchase of a public safety vehicle.
It was pre-us, and that's never been removed.
So for next year's audit, unless this board gives different direction, that doesn't need to be included as a restricted fund?
Exactly.
Yes,
All
And
right.
guys, don't think that I just finalized this. They were sent drafts to look at.
no, they were, yeah, she's correct. They were, that's always been there.
I
and
understand.
I thought it had to be voted to take out. That's on me. That's what I get for assuming that part.
And then the second question I had, Ms. Randolph, was on the last page, page 43 and 44.
Uh-huh.
This is a report on internal control over financial reporting. I
And
don't,
compliance.
I'm sorry?
Internal control and compliance. That's your yellow book report because you had spent over $100,000 in state funding. So this is what we call the yellow book report. So it's compliance over the internal controls. I mean, it's a report on your internal controls and on compliance.
Okay. And you point out there's a lack of segregation of duties within the town in reference to the size of our town. That's certainly something we've seen in previous audits. If you go back in time, I'd imagine it's fairly common in other small towns. It's not
Oh,
yes.
reasonable
to add staff for internal controls. But the question I have is on the last paragraph. You said the purpose of this report is solely to describe the scope of our testing of internal control and compliance and the results of that testing. I can't help but wonder what documents did you use in that testing, and did you reference our separation of duties policy that addresses
Well-
internal controls?
well, like you said, this is very common in smaller organizations because you guys don't have the staff to separate out who writes the checks, who prepares the payroll, who approves the payroll, who picks up the bank statements. Do you guys look at the bank statements and sign off on them?
Jim does.
Yes.
He does because Jimmy and I have signature authority, and it should be a different person to do that. I was just wondering if you referenced our actual policy and deemed that policy itself wasn't sufficient to mitigate internal control issues.
I don't recall right off my head, probably did in 24, which it was new to me then. So I don't recall that without going back to my permanent file and looking at it.
Okay. And then just, if I'm looking at your, now I'm going back to page 43, the bottom of it, and you describe the criteria, condition, the cause, the effect, no issues there. The response is that the town council will remain involved in the financial affairs in order to provide oversight. So your recommendation is that we do not do anything different. Is that correct?
That's correct. Just
Okay.
remain. And you know what, guys? The local government commission puts this out because they know with the smaller municipalities that everybody's going to have that. So they give us the wording on how we are to word this.
Okay. So is it a mandated finding for all small towns from the local
Yes.
government commission?
No, it's not mandated. It's not. I mean, it's kind of an auditor judgment on whether, or the segregation of duties separated out, deposits made by somebody different, deposits coming in to the organization. You take a deposit and then somebody else takes it to the bank. And then same thing with the whole disbursement thing. We're talking payroll, we're talking, really, you would normally see this in all smaller municipalities. The ones you don't see it in is like counties.
Sure.
because counties have the ability to hire the staff to segregate out all those duties.
Understood. Just the genesis of my question, again, this is not something that is, if you've been here, a few years, you certainly will see this. I'd imagine all small towns will. My big question was, did you review our policies and procedures, and do you recommend that we do anything different? And I think the answer is, for the first question, is not in a couple years, and the second question is, based off what you have seen, you would not recommend that we do anything different to address this.
Well, if you do want to do something different, then you hire additional staff. Most of the smaller municipalities, it's not feasible to do that, to hire additional staff. It's going to cost you guys money. And the local government commission doesn't even it's no concern to them about the segregation of duties. No concern at all. They do not, like I said, on that data input sheet that I have to enter everything, they say, is there a significant deficiency or a material weakness within the town or the municipality? And they specifically say, don't tell us about segregation of duties, because we don't care about that. That is not of a concern to us. So, if you want to hire additional staff to segregate out the duties, you can. It's going to be a major expense to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, no, I just had some questions about that. It sounds like it's kind of a common thing to note.
It is. It
Okay.
is very common. I promise you that it's very common. And I do probably like 15 municipalities, and the only one that doesn't have that comment is the county.
Okay.
Because they have the accounts payable clerk, they have the payroll clerk, they have the receivable clerk. They have, they've got all these people they can hire to segregate out these duties.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for answering that.
Oh, absolutely.
Ms. Randolph, Tim Jones, I want to know if you have a worksheet list of those expenditures you checked from A to Z to confirm that they conform to our separation of duties policy.
I do.
Can
I
you,
randomly select 25 cash disbursements within the town.
can you provide that list to the council?
I can.
I'd like to have it.
Yes, sir. I'll have to get it if you guys don't
Well,
mind. I'll
I
send
well,
it.
I wasn't expecting it tonight, but when you
Okay, I'll
can.
start to say, I'll send it to Kimberly in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, concerns?
You answered both of my questions. Thank you very much for your diligence and for reporting this out to us.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
thing.
Randolph.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna hop off then.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
too.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Item number 4 on the agenda, review and adopt the following minutes. We have the minutes from the January 8th, 2026 regular town council meeting. And I do have a real quick correction on that. Under town council member Jones delivered the opening invocation. Actually, it was Mr. Rigsby that did that, and I did bring that to Robbie's attention earlier today, and he corrected it on the master that will be going in the minute book there. So that has been corrected on the formal copy.
Thank you, T.
Other than that, do we have a motion to adopt these?
Okay, that was January 8th, 2026.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the January 8th, 2026 meeting minutes, provided that I'd like to ask staff to attach the Brees price list. It's on page 9. The vote was taken on page 9 of these minutes. Those price sheets for Brees Utility, excuse me, I may not have their name correct. BREECE, our new utility contractor. I'd like to have those price lists that we approved attached to this set of minutes. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my motion.
Do I have a second?
You do, sir. Second.
Any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I'm aye also. Okay, we have closed session minutes from the January 8th, 2026.
I've reviewed those, and I'll move to adopt.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. January 23rd, 2026, special call town council meeting minutes. I move that we adopt those as written.
Second that.
Any discussion?
I will be voting no because I didn't attend that meeting, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Rigsby? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I am no.
And I am aye. And finally, the January 23rd, 2026 closed session meeting minutes. I move that we adopt those as written.
Second that.
Mr. Foy has seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I am nay for the same reason.
And I am aye. Okay, item number 5, public safety reports, Stokesdale Fire District. Mr. Wagner, I believe you have a report from the fire department.
I do, yes. Here we go. All right, so this is a report provided to the town for the month of January 2026 by Chief Todd Galvin of the Stokesdale Fire District. He said that the incident report numbers for the month of January are 42 medical-related calls, 6 fire-related calls, 36 other related calls, so a total of 84. And that concludes his report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Do we have a report for Guilford County Sheriff's Office?
We do. So this report is from Sergeant Ryan Seals of the District 1 Office of the Guilford County Sheriff's Office. For the month of January, the Sheriff's Office responded to 143 calls for service in the Stokesdale town limits, resulting in 16 case reports. Of note, on January the 7th, 2026, deputies responded to an aggravated assault after he intentionally chased and rammed a subject's vehicle with his car, causing a collision. A 33-year-old male was charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, hit, and run, misdemeanor stalking, and misdemeanor injury to personal property. Then on January the 12th of 2026, deputies took a report of a tractor being stolen from Branson Road. An investigation revealed that the tractor was stolen on January the 7th, 2026, and probable cause was developed to charge a 42-year-old male with habitual larceny in the case. The tractor has not been located. See the attached Crime Stoppers Bulletin reference the same. And then I'll go over the calls by type. Again, this is the type of call upon initial dispatch. Call nature often changes after further investigation. 2 burglary of a residence, 3 disturbance, 23 alarm, 1 alcohol, 1 assault, 8 domestic, 2 warrant, 2 missing person, 2 noise violation, 3 accident, 63 other, 18 suspicious, 1 stolen property, 2 theft, 1 trespassing, and 11 traffic. And that concludes his report, except just want to bring attention that the flyer for the Crime Stoppers ad about the missing tractor is in your packets. So,
Mr. Wagner, if I could interrupt you a second. I just asked my fellow council members, what do you think about having young Mr. Wagner insert some verbiage that will point our citizens to the Guilford County Sheriff's Department's online portal, or whatever you want to call it, that has this information. I'm not sure if everybody knows that's available. I look at it from time to time when something goes on, but what do y'all think about doing that? Just a simple statement for more information, confirmation, or whatever?
Would that statement just be a recurring statement on the agenda?
I think it should be a recurring statement on this report that information is available online, just attempting to serve our citizens to the max.
Now, Robbie, this report is not something you create, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, this is emailed to me each month. I wasn't aware that there was an online portal.
Yeah. Well, let me help you find it if you can't, and we'll put our heads together and, maybe include that on our next administrative report. We could almost do without this because the Sheriff's Department has that system. The Fire Department, to my knowledge, has no such system, correct?
Couldn't answer to that.
The Fire Department they are required to fill out a report that I think goes to the State Department of Insurance, if I remember correctly, but it's not publicized. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Back over here. Okay, administrative reports. This is item number 6 on the agenda. Administrative, Town Administrator, Robbie.
Yes. Just making a note here. Yes, so this is my administrative report for this meeting. I'll start off with the water system report that Ms. Hunsuck. For the month of January, there were 5 water meters installed, 62 water meters in stock, 5 applications for transfer of service and water meters in, 9 water meters and applications on hold for builders, 23 work orders, 88 811s, 914 water bills mailed out, and 4 reservations or rentals. A new item that you'll notice on here is where we give you guys a monthly total of the amount of water that we have purchased and sold. Now, one thing that's very important to remember is that the billing cycles, our billing cycle and Winston-Salem's billing cycles do not sync up. For the most recent month, what we purchased from the city of Winston over a 35-day period was 5,228,888.68 gallons of water. That averages about 149,396 and 80.80 gallons per day. Now, for the same billing month, with the 27-day cycle, we sold 3,894,839.30 gallons, which averages 144,253.31 gallons per day. So again, days are not perfect, but
Very good.
And again, Mr. Wagner, I'd just like to suggest maybe that we insert some verbiage there that doesn't include any water flushed or consumed by the Guilford County fire departments that access our water system, like the Stokesdale Fire District.
under what we've sold,
Yeah, how the sold water,
we pay for that water because it comes through the meter.
we do. That's the master read, right?
Correct.
Okay. We know how much we pay, how much we buy from Winston-Salem,
That's correct.
and we know how much we sell,
Correct.
but we don't know how many gallons we lose in leaks, flushing, with fire department usage, including the Stokesdale Fire Department, but as well as surrounding fire departments.
It's less than 5%. I know that. Each year when we do our, either the CCR, the local water supply plan, I can't remember, there's a maximum amount that you're allowed to lose, and 5% is what we come into.
I know I've heard some pretty high leakage numbers, like 15%, a lot of systems.
Not here.
Is normal. No, but ours are,
Yeah,
we're very blessed that we don't have those kind of leaks.
that's right.
I'm just pointing out, if a citizen takes this literally and looks at it, that we're not telling them that it doesn't include those gallons that otherwise the town's paying for, if you see what I'm saying. I'm just,
But I don't think
Kind of a
that we can
suggestion.
account for what those gallons are. I mean, there's just normal shrinkage, I guess, and, shrinkage loss. I think we're doing pretty well. I don't see what additional information that tells citizens. To me, it just raises questions.
I'm flexible on the matter. I just didn't want us to forget that. It's it's a moving target, I agree.
Yeah, and it's exacerbated by the length of the billing cycles that are not consistent. They're not consistent month to month.
Correct. That's right.
The numbers next month will look wonky because
Because of the flushing of the tank.
Yes,
tank work.
that's correct.
That might be worth noting,
Yeah,
certainly.
Definitely put a note in there.
will do.
Did we sell any of that water or just drain the tank?
Drain the tank.
In the past, we've turned the connection with Winston-Salem off and allowed the tank to feed the town's water system to a reasonable degree so that we could sell that water instead of having it dumped. But I did the math before we did this. It was like $500 or something. It wasn't a substantial amount of money. Just saying.
Understood. Yeah, that was discussed, and I think it was advised not to do that.
Right.
For the purpose of why we were draining the tank.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Any more questions on the water side? I'll be glad to continue. All right, I'll carry on. So to mention what you just said there, on the 22nd of January, Utility Services Code did conduct a washout and inspection of the elevated water storage tank. They'll provide the town with a written inspection report, including recommendations in advance of the next council meeting on March 12th. I'll move on to the admin side here. Just of note, most of this is, of course, meetings that have been held and will be held. One thing I'd like to add is just a reminder that on March 3rd, the primary elections will be here in the town hall. So that is a new matter. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Has the report been received for the tank washout and the inspection?
It is not. That's why I say it'll be provided before the March 12th meeting.
I'm just wondering why it's taken them so long. Any idea?
Yes, he did allude to that. The reason being is they had other washouts scheduled, but because of the weather that we've received, they've pushed the jobs back, and now they're catching up on those.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. 6B, Planning Board.
Yes, I'll be glad to give that as well. So this is the planning board report. So on the last regular town planning board meeting, which was January the 22nd, there was a minor site plan case that was reviewed by the planning board. It looks like board member Chris Sumner made a motion to approve this case, and Chairman Stephen Louis seconded the motion, and there was a unanimous yes vote, so the motion carried. I'll also add, it's not in this report, but there was also another vote taken regarding the future land use plan committee. So off the cuff here, I think it was Chris Sumner and Mike Crawford were the two members that were nominated and agreed to be on this committee. So I know we discussed that later on in the agenda. I've got it on that item.
Very good.
Further. So, and just a reminder, the next planning board meeting is in this room on Thursday, February the 26th at 7:00 p.m.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Welcome.
Property Committee, Mr. Rigsby.
The only thing I've got is, as you know, we had some four-wheelers on the fields during the snow. My understanding is we don't have any updates on that. We do have a little bit of notable damage now that we can see it. However, we do not have an update yet on who it may be.
Okay. All right. Town Park Improvement Committee, we do not have a report. We did not have a meeting, so we do not have any updates on that committee.
Gotcha.
Item number 7.
Mr. Mayor, this is as good a time as any to bring it up. I've been wondering about that. Like to ask council what their plans are about that. I think that committee can be disbanded. The problem with it is that Mr. Landorf, Mayor Stevens, and Foy are on that committee, and that's amounts to a town council meeting if they meet. If they're gonna have a quorum and meet as a town council, then all 5 of us may as well meet. And so I'd like to make a motion to discontinue that committee.
Well, we certainly can't meet and aren't meeting, and you hit on the highlights of the main reason.
And my other motivation here is the funding that we've been spending was grant money that we pretty much got to the end of the.
Almost all
money.
gone.
we
Yeah,
all-
so it could be worthy of a greater discussion, maybe, I don't know, have a hybrid of that committee and the property committee that maybe focus more on maintenance type things. I see some gaps, concerning maintenance. And it's not like I brought them to y'all, so I'm just saying.
Just an effort to keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, the committee's not meeting.
Well, we really can't meet.
No. Or we all can't come.
I mean, give notice. Take minutes.
I mean, I'm gonna second his motion regardless if he said he's gonna jump up and down, and dance on the,
Yeah,
know,
I
I
think,
don't have the energy.
well, I'm just saying,
How many members are there?
but he does have a point, and then we can put together whatever it is we need to put together later,
We always want to get the best fit for whatever we're doing.
well, from a practical matter, that the committee has done what it was appointed to do. And to Tim's point, the money's essentially been exhausted. There's 3 members of council now on the committee, so there's really no good reason to continue that committee unless we were to modify the members on the committee. We can do away with that committee, but I really would like to see, I'd like to see greater focus on, some maintenance items at the park.
we can do that with the other committee and
Well-
reorganize it or whatever. I mean, because we can't meet. I'll second the motion.
We got a second. Alternatively, we can have a team of 2 council members that can go perform some given chores and report back to council. That's also another way
Well, we got-
of handling that kind of
Now-
thing.
Now, Chuck had said something about that. That's why I removed myself from the property committee back some time ago. So we'll have to
Well,
dig into it
Well,
somehow.
I'll arm wrestle with Chuck about this, but at the end of the day, he's been to law school. But if this council gives a chore to 2 of the council members to go do thus and so and come back and report to council or fix this or meet with, city of Danville, then that's
I absolutely
workable.
agree with you, Tim. The problem was the property committee was classified as a town committee. In the example you provide, which you're absolutely right, that's not a committee, a recognized town committee. So, if you and I are appointed to go,
What- I'm absolutely certain Chuck will keep us out of the weeds.
Well, that's right. You're in a gray area, but, this open meetings law is pretty broad and, we have to be careful not to try to evade it. So I guess the point would be if you have a committee, you could roll up, for example, you could roll up the town improvement into the property committee if you wanted to, just.
well, that's kind of what I was referencing, but we couldn't necessarily roll it up as is because
Because of the members.
then we'd have the entire council.
No, just give notice of a meeting, yeah.
Well, we are a very small town, but anyhow, that's my motion.
Well, I've already seconded the
You
motion.
seconded it.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the committee. I mean, we had a lot of meetings
Oh, a lot.
and did a lot. And it was a very successful committee, and I guess we served our purpose. Since we can't all 3 meet together anymore, so all the fun's over,
All the money spent.
all the money spent.
Yeah.
T did an excellent job chairing that committee, and Derek.
T, while we're on this, did we ever get a quote on the fence around the ball field?
We have not.
Why? Is it just they haven't delivered it to us, or?
We have not requested a quote for a fence around the ball field.
I thought we had.
No. Among the, looking at the funds and looking at the priorities, it didn't match up. And then there was some discussion on what type of fence we were looking at, whether it wanted to be a full fence or just on certain areas to preclude the danger to the players and chasing the balls and that kind of stuff into the different elevations and stuff off the field. So we never proceeded with requesting a quote for the fence.
Okay.
That don't mean we can't get one. I mean, we don't have to do it.
We don't
as
have
that
to have a
You
committee.
don't need a
committee
committee to get a
quote.
fence.
We've done the big things that needed to be
Yep.
done. and
Oh.
We can do that as a council as far as it goes, or.
Guys, the one thing we have an endless supply of is motions we can make. So,
Well, we got a second on that motion if you wanna, you know.
Okay, so the motion then is to dissolve the Park Improvement Committee.
that's
We
my
do have a
motion.
second.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
All right.
And I'm aye also. Okay. Moving on to the financial reports. Ms. Thacker?
All right, we'll start with the general fund. The CDR's total in the general fund is $3,096,570. Total bank accounts, which also includes the CDR's, is $3,174,134. Our total interest received for the month of January is $10,032. Our year-to-date total interest received is $67,526. The shared overhead expense due to the general fund from the water enterprise account for the month of January is $11,281. Our total sales tax is $421, which makes our total accounts receivable as of January 31, 2026, $12,282. Our total assets as of January 31 is $3,186,415. Let me just check these notes right here. Okay. Just need to make sure I didn't have any more notes for that one. Okay, let's move to the water fund. Okay, our total CDRs for the water enterprise account, total $1,648,776. Our total bank accounts, including the total current assets, including bank accounts, is $3,035,336. Our accounts receivable for the water sales, this includes January billing, is $34,957. Our total accounts that are 90 days past due, active and inactive, is 0. Our sales tax refund due as of January 31 is $1,672. Our total assets total $3,071,965. Our total interest for the month of January is $6,730. Our year-to-date interest is $47,887. Our capital reserve funds for the month of January was $3,000. And that's all that I have for the water enterprise, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Thacker.
I've got a question about the grant, but the grant worksheet, but are we there yet?
Uh-oh. Sure.
The ARPA grant,
The GC or federal?
federal,
Okay.
the actual balance says 14,096. That matches the balance sheet liability. But the number above that, I'm trying to figure out how much is left in this bucket, so to speak.
What's left in the bucket to spend is $9,100.11.
Okay, so what numbers come up to get that?
Okay, so what's available is if you look in that column, everything in gray has been paid out,
Okay,
okay? Everything in blue, we still owe, which in everything in blue is down below. So you've got the American Legal Codifying Code of Ordinances, because council voted $10,000 for that one.
right,
And then council also voted $1,079.98 for the Yates Construction for sign install. And that one, there was an amount left of $1,079.98 on that.
okay,
So those amounts have not been paid out. I can remove Excellence Lawn Care now because that's been paid in full. And I'll remove that one for the next meeting. So those amounts have already been more or less earmarked. So that's where the 9,100 comes from, but we've got 14,000 left.
okay. What about what's in blue up above?
Which one?
Like for American Legal, there's a $10,000.
Those numbers are what council voted to
Okay,
more or less earmark for those specific vendors. They don't always, come up to that. That's why you'll see some of the gray, council may have voted and I'm just using as an example, like Applied Concepts, they may have voted $5,000, but we finished the final bill at $4,120.02. But they're done. There's nothing else there, so that's why, even though if you would have voted 5,000, I put it for the total because everything's final. If that makes sense.
and the same with the Guilford County ARPA, the amount that's left from that after all encumbrances, if you will, is $389,000?
Yes,
Okay, we need to be mindful of that number because that is time sensitive.
yes.
Okay,
And each month, you'll see, like down below the bottom, where it says actual balance on the spreadsheet, you'll see that if we owe someone, I do see a couple I need to remove that are zeroed out, but if we owe someone anything else left in there, I try to show council what's left to be paid underneath there. For instance, Hazen and Sawyer, the 366.4, we still owe them $14,949.63 for that particular job, for that particular item. So that, I hope that helps council. It may not, but I would think that it would. To let you know, like, what's been paid, what's left to pay. And that's why up at the top, when I put them in gray, they're paid in full, they're done. Anything in blue, we still owe,
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Thacker.
Are you good, Derek?
I think so. So if,
I didn't think you was.
well, I mean, this, if for all intents and purposes, the amount available of the federal ARPA money is $9,100, is that
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
You good?
We're good?
Okay.
Okay, we next have the, item number 8 is public comments from the floor. Do we have anyone? I don't have any requests, but we'll open it up if anyone has any comments. Okay. Mr. Logan.
Michael Logan, 5202 Rambling Road. I would like to invite the public, as most of Stokesdale knows, and the Northwest community area knows, they are looking at building a middle school right down on 68. And what that will do is that will also free up Northwest Middle School building on the Northwest campus. We do not have vocational career and technical opportunities for our students in the Northwest community. Not just Northwest community, Northern community. There are some, but they're mainly lined with medical and they're lined with business. Weaver Center in downtown Greensboro has a lot more opportunities for our students to take the career and technical classes, vocational like automotive, carpentry, plumbing, electrical. Why don't we turn the old Northwest Middle School into a career and technical education center? Why don't we provide opportunities for students in the Northwest or Northern and the Western area of Guilford County, those opportunities? We're not going to build the high school. There was 1,200 seat high school that has been taken off the books. There is no money for that. Now, how can we get that done? With our voice. If you go to Guilford County Schools website, there is a survey for the strategic plan, and the school systems use that for the next 3 to 5 years. Public needs to fill that out and say what their priorities are and what their needs are. Not only does the public need to do it, businesses need to do it. It is a voice, and it is the numbers of the voice that will get things done. And that was what I was out here doing. If y'all will, please fill that survey out. I'll send y'all a link personally, but if you go to the GCS&C website, you'll see the link on there. Thank you.
Michael, do you mind if I ask you a question? Do you know, I understand the the new high school's off the books, but do you know where it was going to be located?
Just said Northwest area. And the reality is, even with the middle school, that was always, it was hard because it was hard to find land.
Certainly.
And I'm going to say, in this area, that will be the best area for it to be located at because it pulls it out in the northern area, which will allow students within the Northwest area. Eventually, we're going to have to do redistricting. Other options would have been for students in the Stokesdale area actually going farther than what they are now. If they had built that school towards Colfax, if they built that school towards Greensboro, students in Northwest or Stokesdale would have been traveling farther. In this case, actually, students are going to be having to come to Northwest or Stokesdale area. And there is going to be a shifting of the lines eventually. So, because actually Northwest Middle does draw from Coronado or Northwest High draws from Coronado and Northwest Middle. So, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mike.
Mr. Logan. Okay, moving on to new business items. Consideration of the 2026 Town of Stokesdale Budget Workshop Schedule. As you know, we're on a fiscal year, and we historically have been conducting workshops during the months of March, April, and May in preparation for the adoption of the budget during the June normal town council session meeting. For the 26-27 period, we'll be working on those here coming up pretty quickly. Historically, we have used the first Tuesday of each month of March, April, and May for those. We do have this year, as Mr. Wagner mentioned earlier, we do have the election here, March the 3rd, I believe, which is the first Tuesday in March, which would be a conflict with that. So I am under consideration thinking, because the majority of town council meetings do occur on Thursday evenings, that we could be consistent and do maybe the first Thursday of the months of March, April, and May for these budget workshops. And I would like to introduce that and certainly get Ms. Thacker's feedback on her availability and thoughts on that, as well as the rest of council with that.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I did look at things and the dates that I would like to propose, if council agrees, if we could do March 5th, April 16th, and May 7th, that would be great.
Ms. Thacker, do you know what days those
Yes.
dates fall on?
I was looking that up as we spoke, because I thought that would be asked.
Thank you.
March 5th is it would be the first Thursday of March. April 16th would be the third Thursday in April. And then May 7th would be the first Thursday in May.
Oh, so two of the three would be the first Thursdays of the month, and April would be the exception. That would be the third.
Yes, I had already, because like you said, we had always done the first Tuesday. That's what I had already marked that off for my calendar, unfortunately, but since there's a conflict, so if that April one's the only one stinging me there.
And are we talking about a 7 PM meeting time?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we fairly sure that we're not gonna get that sales tax distribution coming up this, coming fiscal year? Is that off the table completely?
I wouldn't say it's off the table completely, but it's, we have, I think, we'll have to lobby to get it and make sure that the treasurer's office agrees with my interpretation of the ordinance, which, of the statute rather, which,
Will we know before? 'Cause, I mean, we can't make plans for it if we don't
Right.
know for 100% we're getting it, so. So we shouldn't make any plans for it if we don't have 100%.
Well, we would 100% get it in 27.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be the next budget year.
yeah, we have an argument for 26. I just don't know how they'll be received in Raleigh. So I guess for planning purposes, I would say,
You know how it's gonna be received.
I don't know if it's gonna be received, but.
But we can see, you don't ever know somebody might.
Right.
Okay, I just want.
Well, and as a reminder, we have the option of asking the Guilford County Board of Commissioners for money out of the budget this year. We just need to get the request in pretty quick. We all know we're losing $1.6 million due to the change in the sales tax distribution. And so it's my belief, given their spending patterns with other towns and previous conversations with our county commissioner, that it's a possibility we can get $100,000 to $200,000 for specific projects if we can demonstrate a need. And so I'd like for council to, mull that over.
How quick do we need to have it in?
I don't know, but I can get you a date.
Well, get us a date, let's see.
Okay. Then I would like to make a motion that we schedule special called meetings for the purpose of budget workshops for the fiscal year 26-27 to be held on the following dates: March the 5th, 2026, April the 16th, 2026, and May the 7th, 2026, with these meetings to begin at 7:00 p.m. in the evening.
I'll second.
Mr. Wagner, have you looked at the calendar in front of Ms. Hunsucker there to make sure we don't have any conflicts that we need to worry about with the meeting room here? We good?
I have not done that, but I do know that at the bottom of the facilities use agreement, it says that if council requests a meeting, that you guys have the authority to tell them that they'll have to reschedule.
To bump them? Well, maybe when we break for the closed session, you can go and check that, and then we can fix this date later in the meeting if we got a conflict we don't know.
If it is, just notify the folks that we need the meeting hall. I mean, that's,
Well, certainly, yeah, that's fine.
Every once in a while in the past, we've had those kind of issues.
Yeah, not
because I don't think I've ever sit on this council when we had 3 dates that came up that we could all make
understood.
like that. So, I mean, it seems like we all think we can make it, so,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be glad to take a look at the calendar.
yeah.
Might save us some trouble down the road.
Okay?
I've got a question. These are special called meetings with one of the agenda items labeled budget workshop. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can we have the opportunity, if any council member wanted to add an agenda item, ahead of this meeting, that they do that as well? Could they do that as well, or are we just limiting this to the budget?
I think it'd be wise if we just leave that open. We never know what might pop up.
You'd have to give notice of it, however, at least 2 days ahead of time.
That's absolutely right, but in terms of terminology, I don't want to advertise these as budget workshops and then have an agenda item for mulch. So, but if it's a special called meeting with an agenda item as budget workshop, then I'd feel more comfortable adding an agenda item for whatever.
Well, can we just call it,
We're certainly gonna be legal.
can we just call it special called meetings
Yeah.
and just put that as the item to start with?
Which I think was a motion to start with. I think that was the motion that was made, was called a special call meeting for the purpose of,
Well, for the budget.
I don't see any problem adding to it within the legal boundaries we have to work with, but
This is just a minor technicality. I would have a little heartburn adding to it if we're calling it a budget workshop,
we've done it in the past.
hence my heartburn.
Well, let's just call it a special call meeting. We won't have to have no heartburn, so.
I do have a question. So, every year I put this schedule online, since you guys are essentially scheduling these in advance, and I list it as a budget workshop. So instead of that, would you like for me to just call it a special called meeting schedule and then put a note on there that the budget will be discussed?
Yes, sir. I
Would that
think
work?
would be
Let's do
adequate.
that.
you could say a special call meeting including a workshop,
Okay,
which could include other things as well.
okay,
Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. I don't.
that's fine.
As long as we advertise it correctly.
Certainly.
That's right. Even with this schedule, we still do a 48-hour notice on it.
And we shouldn't be adding anything to it at the last minute.
Well, it'd be illegal for us to do that, but I think we need to stick with having verbiage in there that lets the citizens know we're preparing the budget.
Okay. Not a problem.
Discussing the budget, working on the budget. I don't really care
Absolutely.
exactly what it says, just as long as
Absolutely.
that's included.
Okay, not an issue.
Okay, so we'll revise the motion to include these dates, special called meetings to discuss the budget workshops as
Perfect.
noted. Yep.
You still got the second, so.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby,
Aye.
Mr. Foy,
Aye.
Mr. Landrith,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and I am I also. Okey dokey. Item number 10, consideration of appointments to the Town of Stokesdale Future Land Use Plan Committee by myself, Councilmember Jim Rigsby, and Councilmember Tim Jones. And Mr. Ford, did you want to give a little background with
I
that?
can introduce it, absolutely. State requires municipalities to revisit their land use plan. And it's been a minute since we've revisited ours, so we've established a committee that is going to do that. I'm grateful that Jimmy and I were appointed several meetings ago to that committee. In the January Planning Board meeting, the Planning Board nominated Mayor Crawford and Chris Sumner, and they both accepted. So we've got 4 guys on the committee, and from here to round out the committee, 3 more members. Jim and Tim and Mayor T will appoint a member. So that's I think that covers it. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, Mr. Mayor.
None from me. Mr. Rigsby, are you ready to?
I am. I'd like to know.
In the interest of fairness, let me say what I gotta say, so you're.
Of course.
It snuck up on me a little bit when I saw it on the agenda yesterday. This is important to me, and I had several people that I wanted to talk to face to face. With the recent weather, I've been a little behind on a number of things, including that. How much of a holdup would it be if we don't do this tonight? Is that going to be detrimental to a deadline we've got coming up?
We could hold yours over if you don't have somebody yet. You can
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
mean,
and
I don't-
appoint those 2 guys.
Yeah, I'd rather go ahead and notify my person so they can start
Yeah,
planning.
yeah, well, I just didn't know if your preference would be to name them all 3 at the same time, or it
Well,
might be the same person, so.
I guess that was a preference. But you know, life happens, totally get that, so you just
Well,
wanna.
it just been my preference to talk to a few people face to face for the same reasons that I would prefer Cindy Randolph had been here to do the audit
I
presentation.
100% get it. And the good news is we're having a meeting the first Thursday of March, so we can add that to the special called meeting.
I hear you.
Good?
Sure.
Jim?
Okay?
So
Kim?
I would like to nominate, come back to me. Let me,
All righty.
yeah, come right back to me.
Okey-dokey. Well, I'll go ahead and make my recommendation. I would like to appoint Casey Johnson to the future Land Use Plan Committee. Casey's a lifelong resident of Stokesdale. He's got deep roots in the community, gives him a genuine understanding of the town's character, values, and long-term needs. As you know, Casey has been in the home building industry and provides meaningful insight on how development decisions affect the residents and their neighborhoods and the town as a whole.
Has he agreed to be on it?
Yes,
Okay.
I have spoken with Casey.
This is not something that we need to take a vote for, is because we said that the individual council members could put whoever they wanted to on it, so, I mean, you know,
But yes, I spoke with Casey and he has
I mean,
agreed to be on that.
puts the devil himself on it, you know, I mean, it's what we said.
I have not spoken with him.
Okay, well, you probably will before it's over, before your 4 years is up.
I'm ready, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Riggs?
So I'd like to nominate Aaron Babson. I have spoken with him. Obviously, his knowledge of the town, he lives in the town, his knowledge of the growth that we're facing based on his professional knowledge of the water system, I think would be a great fit for this committee.
Very good. Very
And
good.
we'll, Tim, you have time to do that by the 5th?
I think I'll have to, otherwise I'm just holding up the whole works
Okay.
if I
Well,
don't.
let's put that on the agenda. Go ahead and set that up for that special call meeting. That way we won't forget about it.
Well, frankly, I'm not sure it requires a meeting, because it's, Mr. Jones is.
Well, that's
simply
right.
Announcing his choice, so he could just send a letter saying,
Yeah,
I
that's right.
nominate so-and-so.
So I could just let council know at any time and a town clerk, and you feel like that would be
Yeah,
sufficient?
because it's not the council taking the action, it's your
that's
individual
correct.
choice, so I think you
Yep.
can just send a letter.
I understand. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Thank you.
It's a good point.
Very good, very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
2 good additions.
Yep.
Okay. Item 11, consideration of renewal of internet services contract for the Stokesdale Town Hall. Boy,
This is, if y'all recall, about a year ago, we had a new internet service provider, pretty significant savings for the town. So hats off to staff for putting that together. This is to renew that same contract. To the best of my knowledge, the service has been good. We're saving money. So the motion is going to be, in fact, I am going to make a motion, no doubt, but I'd like to turn it over to Robbie just to see if he has anything to add from a staff perspective.
Yeah, I'll be glad to discuss this. So, as you've already mentioned, the town went with AirSpring last year for multiple reasons. They've been great ever since we've had them. Once we got them in here, they installed fiber optic cable, gave us a dedicated line. At that time, we signed up for telephone for 2 years and internet for a year. And so now they're proposing a renewal of the internet services at no change in the contract and no change in the cost. So it's the same cost that it was this previous year. Reason for that is this internet contract set to expire on the 28th of next month, correct? And so just wanted to get this before council ahead of the termination of the contract.
Robbie, and this is a one-year term?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that the town of Stokesdale accept from AirSpring Managed Solutions for a one-year term of internet broadband at a cost of $130.19 per month and an annual cost of $1,562.28. This is in reference to proposal number 436834 from Airspring.
I'll second.
I have a question, but for staff or council members. We are in the process of trying to get a guest accounts scenario set up and working that we can afford. Does what we're doing with Airspring have any impact on that?
Guest accounts? Who's we?
The town of Stokesdale, the town hall here. This problem hadn't been solved, right, Mr. Wagner?
Well, the last discussion that I had with former Mayor Crawford was that it's not an issue. We talked about it further. We met with someone, and I think his concern was that if someone hooked into the Wi-Fi, they had access to town folders, and I confirmed that that's not the case, and so did our IT provider. So he felt that no longer there was a need to have that.
He being Mayor Crawford or the TCS?
Mayor Crawford.
Okay, well, Mayor Crawford no longer serving on this board. I want to make sure that before I vote for this, that if we decide we need to set up a guest account, that didn't wish we had made a change here, or we don't wish we'd have made a change. That's all I'm asking.
Well, regardless of the guest account option, I mean, we would have to make a change because this is our current provider. So we're just voting to extend. I mean, if we want to research a guest account, we're gonna have to look at other providers, and I don't really think it has anything to do with the provider anyway. I think it's just the way the modem is set up. We would just request a different
From what I
modem.
remember, the issue was more internal with our server needing some piece of equipment to divide the incoming internet service and allow for staff and council use, and then a separate branch to allow for guest use, just to make sure we
And
kept our
was that
security.
a recommendation from our IT vendor or from, a town council member?
I don't know. That conversation was had with Mayor Crawford and them, not me. I'm not sure. I just know that the last discussion we had was, he was concerned that hooking into the Wi-Fi automatically gave you access to files, which it doesn't. So the matter essentially dropped after that.
So we're in no danger if somebody hooks into our Wi-Fi. Our records are in no danger.
They can't get in it now because we don't have a guest account unless town staff gives them the password. They can't get in it. It comes up from time to time when we have vendors working for the town that show up here and need to access, files back at their office and that sort of thing. And so I think from what I remember, Mayor Crawford was seeking a cheaper alternative than what TCS could provide. And I remember a number of like $4,000 to set this up with what we have from TCS. That's what I remember. I may be wrong.
I remember receiving that quote. It seems like that quote was more of an upgrade of the current situation. So right now we have a Wi-Fi router in the mechanical closet, and the quote was to put Wi-Fi hotspots in all of the rooms. So that was what was quoted.
I, as one council member, I'm okay with our status quo here. I'm just bringing it up because it's come up in the past.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Mr. Landreth, I don't know. I'm not an IT expert, so I don't know what the risk is of someone hooking into the Wi-Fi here. I could not tell you that.
We don't.
The files are secured by rights. So not all of us may not have the same rights to each file anyway.
Gotcha.
So anybody that just comes in is not gonna have any rights to any files. So they're all, delineated by the rights that TCS and we provide them. The internet coming in based on this has nothing to do with the how we distribute it through the building. So we can always change at whatever time, just adding a different modem, or probably just logging into the modem that we already have and setting the account up inside the modem.
Okay, let me express my concern another way. It's the council, we're going to continue to give our password out on a as needed basis for people that the town staff feels like need access to it, a vendor or what have you, but we're not going to hand out that password to members of the public that just want to see what the weather is or look up a recipe. Is that what we're doing?
I don't believe we give out I don't believe we have any requests for the password. Most people have their own providers when they come in off their phone or hotspots. I don't think it's been an issue.
It has been an issue.
We've got people coming in asking for the Wi-Fi password.
It has in the past been an issue here, yes.
Bobby, has that been an issue?
I couldn't answer that. I don't recall anybody, but also sometimes if they come in, I don't see them right off. We don't have many people from the public just come up here and see it.
It may be before Mr. Wagner's time, but I think one of the things working here is more and more people have internet at home, more and more people have it on their phone, and so that demand factor is probably down from what it was years ago. All right, well, never mind me.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
One thing I'd like to point out about this, I've discussed this earlier today with some of you all. The contract has, it's your standard, we call it adhesion contract. All the terms are favorable to the provider, not favorable to the consumer, which is if you have an Apple phone, you'd be surprised what you have given Apple the ability to do. Same with this contract. There are provisions that I don't like, but I don't think we have negotiating ability to change them. For example, it says any dispute we have with them has to be litigated in Los Angeles, California, for example. So there are things that I don't like, but I don't think we have the ability to change. I think they're low risk for the council to approve.
And I do have a question for you. So the motion is to accept the proposal. Does there need to be a motion separate to authorize Mayor Stevenson to sign this contract?
That's probably a good idea to include that in the motion if that's the intent, to authorize the mayor to sign it on behalf of the town.
Mm-hmm. That good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Jimmy, do you keep that
So
second?
second stands.
Okay.
second's good. Any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Am I?
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Okay. Item number 12, consideration of proposed cost sheet from public utility service vendor for the town of Stokesdale. Mr. Foy?
This is an updated call sheet from A&D Enterprises. I'm going to make a motion that we adopt this.
Okay,
I do not know how this compares to our old cost sheet. I'm not sure if we actually have an approved cost sheet.
We do.
I did look at that, Derek. And, yeah, I did look at that, and there's really not a good comparison from the other call sheet to this sheet. I do have a spreadsheet. Sorry, I know that you guys do not have this. But the only thing that, there was really no comparison, because when you look at the detail of this one and then the old one, the verbiage is different.
These are independent businesses. They don't have the same equipment. They don't necessarily operate exactly the same way. And I don't know what we can do to force them into having the same line items. I don't know if that's possible. I'll second your motion, Mr. Foy,
A&D, yeah.
with the provision that we attach this, if it's approved, we attach this cost sheet to this set of minutes, Mr. Wagner.
Now, did we have a cost comparison from A&D, and this is an increase over or decrease in the previous? Or was this a comparison of the other vendors that we also use? This is which,
It
The
was
last one we
A&D.
had from them was 2022.
That's correct.
I don't think that one was approved. So this will be the first one that's approved, right?
No, we've approved unit cost from them before. I'm 99% sure.
Okay, well, whatever be the case, my motion is to approve this. Effective, I'm gonna put it effective,
effective tomorrow.
I'd like to put it effective today, but they've dated it January 30th.
Okay. So you want to make it effective today?
I-
Or you call.
I can go either way. Chuck, what are your thoughts about retroactively?
Has there been anything done since January 30th?
I don't believe so. I would have to get with Priscilla on work orders, but there's not been that much time since then, and quite a bit of it was severe weather, so I don't believe so.
My understanding of the financial rules being what they are, I don't think it'd be legal for us to make it retroactive if they had an active invoice.
Which is why I asked the guy that went to law school.
Yeah,
Well, does the guy that went to law school agree with me?
if work had been done, that's why I asked if any work had been done since January 30th. So, and I'm not hearing that anything has been done since January 30th, so.
Just keeping in mind, we could need them between now and midnight, so, but I just don't want it to go forward very far.
I think the deal was to say it effective immediately, and then
Effective
that way,
immediately.
if they did it, anything between the end of January and now, the old rate structure would apply. Anything after you adopt the motion would be the new rate structure.
Okay, that's good. I'll make the motion effective immediately.
My second stands.
Any further discussion? Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Foy.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I am aye.
And I am also aye. Okey-dokey. Item number 13, consideration of pricing proposal for locating services associated with the Town of Stokesdale Municipal Water System. Mr. Landrith.
Yeah, this is a 811 company to do locates. Robbie did the homework on this. We were looking for someone else to just have as a contractor. And I just want to make a motion to add them as a contractor, and I'll turn it over to Robbie. So he's had the conversation and everything. Go ahead and go through the numbers and all. We do have a contract that Chuck's going to have to go over, make sure it's okay. But we can approve it. We can approve it upon his approval. And like I say, we're just putting them on as a contractor, so we're not obligated to spend anything if something comes up that we can't get fixed.
Right, if something comes up, I can bring it up
Yeah.
at the next
But
meeting.
these
or-
folks are the ones that they do Greensboro, and I mean, they do a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I seen them in, over toward Madison today, one of their cars, so,
Oh, yeah.
they, Robbie?
Yeah, I'll be glad to speak on this. So, so Jimmy and I talked about this a while back and started doing some research of, like you say, who other municipalities and even private utility companies use, and this name came up time and time again. And so reached out to the company. Mr. Telford Myers was able to speak with me and give me a pricing proposal. And, I will add that the fees are laid out there. Fees for, one call ticket, project rate, what it costs for an emergency ticket for during business hours, a emergency ticket after hours, a investigation of who's at fault when something happens. So they put all the prices out there. One thing that Mr. Landers noted that we've looked into is there's a wording on the proposal that says an annual fee will be paid prior to the beginning of the contract and at the anniversary date. I've gotten confirmation from Mr. Myers that was an error on his part. The annual fee line item is for smaller accounts, and we would not have any sort of annual fee. So when I spoke with him, I'm assuming a lot of these numbers are based on each municipality, and I let him know how many 811 locates we had last year, what we averaged per month, and I'm sure that's how these numbers were put together.
Mr. Wagner, did, A&D Enterprises is available to locate for us right now, and I presume the new utility contractor is also available to locate for us right now, correct?
Well, they would be available, but we don't have a contract with them. Oh, I'm sorry, are you referring to Breeze? You're not referring to this company?
Correct.
Yes, that's correct, yeah. I thought you were referring to USIC, the one that we're talking about.
Okay, well, I just got this contract tonight, so I hadn't looked at it. Have you read this contract, Mr. Winfrey, and reviewed it, the 17 pages here?
No, I've not. I've received it right before the meeting, and so I've not had a chance to.
Got-
We just got the contract. We had the information was in the packet, and we just got the contract, and my motion was for him to look the contract over. And, if, of course, if, there's problems in it, then we'll straighten them out. I mean, you know, by doing this tonight, we don't have to use them. It don't mean we're gonna spend $1 with them. It just means we're able to do it if we have to, in case we have an emergency, where some of these other folks, you know, couldn't get to it. Plus, they are, pretty reasonable.
Mr. Lander, I'm just making sure I understand. One of the things I'll mention is years ago, when the state made the changes that required Stokesdale to get in the 811 business, I was here on council, and the local locate companies, I don't think USIC was in business in the area at the time, but we called every one of them and couldn't get any of them interested in doing that work for us. So I think this is a blessing for the town that they're available at some price to do this work. So my question to Mr. Wagner is, or rest of the council is, how is the town staff going to determine which locate contractor to call when an 811 ticket comes in? How do we prioritize here?
Well, honestly, I would probably call the one that's the least expensive first, and then go up the list of cost until if I find one that's available. If that sounds reasonable to council.
It does.
That's what we do currently.
I got a clarification.
For the sake of consistency, I'm not sure if I like that. My preference would be that we have a primary, simply because if there's a problem, we know who done it.
I don't think, once you put these guys on, I think they're gonna end up being the primary. That's what these guys do. That's what they do. They got a card. Like I said, I seen one today.
I know
They're a reasonable price. What's other people charge?
100.
You know, these guys are 25, and of course, if they can't find one, it could get more expensive, but most of them are gonna be $25.
But it's 25 plus 1850, right, Jimmy?
No, it's
First 30 minutes is 25.
3 tickets can be, so for the $25 rate there, that one call, they outlined this in their proposal. That $25 is for one call. On average, they can get 3 tickets done in one call. So it could be $25 for 3 tickets. However, if it goes over 30 minutes, it's $18.50 per quarter hour until they finish.
And Mr. Lander, if I'm agreeing with you, so they're willing to work with us to combine tickets. You know, sometimes in the past, we might be able to combine tickets and get somebody to do this marking all at one time instead of having somebody do marking 3 days in a row.
Yeah, based on the language that I've read here in the proposal, that's what I'm assuming.
Did a rep come to this town hall? Do you speak to them on the phone?
Telephone.
Okay. Where's their local office?
I don't know. I know that when I spoke with him, he said that the folks that would be doing the locating, one lived in Winston and one lived in Greensboro. So don't know where their local office is, though.
Okay, but they have local people. Got you.
And they said they were able to do the emergency locates.
Correct.
That's the ones we're really concerned about, because
It all looks good. I just haven't been able to read this contract.
and like I say, by adding them as a vendor tonight, by putting it on to add as a vendor, if the contract's sufficient, you're not doing anything. It's not meaning we're gonna spend a dime, or not, we're gonna, you know, if something comes up and we don't, so, but I think these people will end up being our primary.
And I'm agreeing with you, Mr. Lander. I certainly I prefer the one that offers the most liability protection and probably can get here the fastest.
Well, you got the certificate of insurance there, I guess. Everybody have that?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. Lander, did you intend to motion to authorize the mayor to sign if the review of the contract is satisfactory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So your motion is to includes approval of the contract. I don't,
Okay, let me make my motion.
okay,
Okay, I'm making a motion for us to, USIC as a vendor for our 811 locates, upon approval of the contract by Mr. Winfrey, and if it's approved by Mr. Winfrey, the mayor is authorized to sign it. And then Robbie would be authorized to use them, or
Okay.
whoever.
I'll second that motion if you'll allow me to add based on the proposal prepared January 22nd, 2026, and the fees contained therein.
That's fine.
Being applicable.
That's actually good.
Are those fees in the contract? Not, I mean, it really doesn't matter now that you've included that, but
They're on page 2 is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, page
proposal.
2.
Is a grid.
In
the pricing proposal.
They are in the
fees
pricing
on the back.
proposal. I don't know if they're in the contract.
Do you have a second, Jimmy?
Yeah, Tim seconded.
Second, okay.
Any further discussion? We'll take a vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Langers?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am aye also.
Robbie, thanks for doing all the legwork on that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I didn't think we were going to find anybody, because
It's a
Work-
niche thing.
worked out.
That's a good thing, and thank you, Robbie. I will echo that for following up with that. This is a good solution.
Yeah, thank
Hopefully
you.
it'll turn out.
Appreciate it. Glad to do it.
Okay, we have item 13A, which is to revisit the contractual obligations coming up for the auditor.
I would like a motion that we add to the request for qualification that we're going to send out the requirement that this audit be presented in person at the Stokesdale Town Hall at a town council meeting here.
So moved.
Now, Robbie, the contractual obligation for the auditor, is that coming up for renewal this year?
It is, that's
So
right.
this is the final audit under the previous contract, so this would be a new.
That's correct.
How many years has Ms. Randolph done the? This was her third.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think she may ask for another 3-year contract?
I think she would. I mean, I was gonna send one to her, so.
Maybe, what's the recommended practice currently in the, across the state for audits as far as alternating? We've been changing about every 3 or 4 years in the past. And I know it's recommended that you do that periodically.
It is recommended. It's not a statute that you change. However, it is recommended. I have spoken with actually the conference that I went to in November. Some people were speaking about it because they were stating that auditors are getting harder to find. And I can totally understand where they're coming from on that part because of the liability and things, in that nature. So we were talking about it at our table that we were sitting at, and I asked some of those. Some of those said they've had the same auditor for 7 years, some, 4 years. They'll send RFPs out. They never get anything back. So they kind of have to talk to the auditor they're using at that time to see if they'll, renew with them. But I think the average ended up being 3 to 4 years, one of them, I think average may have been 3 to 5 years or something, just depending. But they are getting, I think the last RFP we sent out, we received only two back. And so they are getting scarce. They are.
Yeah. Just kind of my personal opinion. I probably wouldn't be willing to vote for Ms. Randolph to do it again beyond a 1 year, just so that we could be switching after that 1 year.
In there.
Just my opinion.
1 year instead of 3.
Yeah, I guess we could put that in there.
Well,
Can you send a request out for, 1, 2, 3 years? I mean, it don't have to be. I mean, we might get a request for 1 year and want to go with that,
In the past, it's been hard to get them to do 1 year.
has it?
I do remember that.
Well, yeah, they've gotta make it's gotta be worth their while to, do it and bouncing. What was
playing
that?
soccer.
Oh, scared the jeebers out of me.
They coming through?
I didn't know what
It's
that
a whole load of auditors coming in here.
I didn't know what that was. But, I could understand, once you get, because it takes time, like this is her third year with us, but Actually, the first year went great, the second year went smooth sailing, and things were great. You know, you learn, you know, your client that you're working with, and you get used to the staff and the people you're working with, and you kind of know what to expect, so I do understand. And not many auditors will bounce year to year to, you know, different places
They're gonna want
for that,
somebody gonna
you know,
want
for that
to.
purpose.
It's always new.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that I've got the RFP together. I actually sent it to Robbie, not the day before yesterday, I do believe, just so he could go ahead and have it, because I knew we needed to get it on the agenda.
And you have a list of proposed applicants in addition to Ms. Randolph?
Not yet, no.
What would you use for your source? Do you have some
Last time I
referrals?
did it, I spoke with, after the recommendation from a council member, I spoke with Oak Ridge and Summerfield, and was just trying to get some feel from there. And then I think how did we find Cindy?
I think if I remember correctly, I believe I put an email out on the North Carolina clerk's list,
Okay.
what other municipalities in the state, who they use, and obviously, you kind of have to find somebody local.
Well, and that was my point also, is Mr. Jones was speaking, the proximity,
Yeah.
that's an issue for Ms. Randolph, I believe.
It was,
Had Anna Eden.
yeah, I mean, I would say, given our proximity to, you know,
Ms. Randolph knew
Greensboro.
knew how far it was here when she took the
Oh, sure.
job, though. Don't I have a motion on the floor?
Just like I did with Oak Ridge and Summerfield. I can call and ask Madison.
We can certainly put a list together of people that we have found and provide that to you guys at the meeting. I'll also add that we have a specific icon on the front page of our website that says RFPs and RFQs. So we always tell vendors and business owners to take a look at that to see if we're requesting any sort of qualifications or proposals at that time. So,
Okay. Let's get back to the motion. The motion is that we add that verbiage to the requirements. And we do have a second.
I think Derek seconded it.
Derek seconded.
Didn't you, Derek?
I did.
So is it 3 years or 1 year we're talking about?
Right now, the motion concerns making it mandatory that the audit be presented in person.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, but there was
The
discussion about.
previous contract was for 3 years.
Right, and so that's just, the RFP is gonna be for 3 years.
we'll bring the RFP to council in March for their approval. I guess
got
at that time, they can determine if they want to do 1 or 3.
Well, very good.
I'm ready to vote.
All right. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Foy.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
And I might also.
One thing I'd like to add to this discussion, the state treasurer, I believe it is, maintains a list of the auditors that are approved for municipal audits in the state of North Carolina. If it's not them, it's the State Department of Fiscal Management. So I would like to see us sending this out in a radius from Stokesdale to a reasonable degree. I don't know whether that radius needs to be 50 miles or 75 miles. Certainly doesn't need to be 700, but if you could present us or find us that list, and unless there's some reason not to send this request for qualifications to a given company because perhaps they're being investigated for something or something of that nature, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, if there are 10 auditing firms within 20 miles, there's no reason that we shouldn't be sending it to all of them, is there?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that brings us to item number 14, public comments from the floor. We do have any, or do we have any? Okey dokey. All right, that brings us down to 15, town council comments. Mr. Rigsby?
Not a lot, just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and glad to see the snow is gone. We got our park back opened, and the garbage is straightened out, hopefully, so thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Mr. Foy?
First, I'd like to echo Jim's comments about garbage, the garbage pickup. I know it was a rough go with really any provider in the area for the last 2 weeks. I really commend staff and GFL for for helping us work through the kinks and getting an open top here at Town Hall. I know it wasn't pretty at all at all times, but, the bumps in the road that we had, I think were addressed, and I got more thank yous for that than probably anything that I've gotten since I've been here. Trash is important. So thank you for your work for that. Thank you to the 7 folks that came. Thank you to Mr. Logan for your suggestion for Northwest Middle. I do think that is a need in the community. Ever how it's done, Weaver is a long way to drive from this area. Thank you to staff, thank you to Chuck, and thank you to my colleagues. Y'all have a good weekend.
Mr. Landry?
Yeah, I'd like to thank staff. We've got another clean audit. That's pretty big. And we're a town that doesn't have a tax. We are pretty frugal, and I hope we can continue doing that. Right now, we've got close to 4 years' money if we didn't have another dime come in. And that's saying a lot, for not having a tax. And thank you so much for keeping it straight.
Mr. Jones?
I will also thank you to the 7 citizens we have in the seats for. Uh-oh, I went dead here, sounds like. So, fellas, just a reminder, I believe the 14th is coming up on Saturday. You know what you got to do. And so, just saying, thank you all for coming.
We ain't sending you no candy if that's what you want.
No, I wasn't asking for candy, no.
That sounds
No. There may be confusion out there in the world, but I don't have that problem.
I'd like to also thank everyone that stayed around for this and appreciate everyone's participation. And I am very pleased to see the numbers picking up. I do want the town to understand that they are always welcome to come to these meetings. And like Mr. Jones said, the 14th is on Saturday. The day before Saturday is Friday, and that means it's the 13th. So be careful out there, folks. Don't know how superstitious you are, but bear that in mind. Go to the store, pick up the card and the candy, but get the good stuff.
That's right.
Okay. With that said, we do have a motion to introduce here. I move that the Stokesdale Town Council enter into a closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3. The purpose of this closed session is to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged. Do I have a second?
Yes, sir. Second.
Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Yeah.
All right, then. Oh, what was going on with the dean, former chief justice, and then he was dean of another Regents. He was dean of the law school up in Virginia.
Just got worse and worse over time.
Good job, Mr. Mayor.
Well,
Karen, we're gonna have to do
I'm learning.
we're gonna have to do a poll on how many times the girls hit the floor the next game. They was going at it, wasn't they? Can't remember his name.
Hey,
Talking about Bad Bunny or?
got him, see if you.
Yeah, they,
Okay, are we all back?
That was a good game, though. That was one of the best ones all year. I mean, I'm glad we come out in the end, but it's still, if we'd have lost by one, it'd have been still a good game. I mean,
Exactly right. I want that exact dollar figure.
our team don't have any offense. We got a good defense. We don't have any offense.
Work for 3 hours.
Okay,
I move
to
to
hope
reconvene in
somebody
open session.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we do have,
I have a motion, Mr. Mayor.
yes, sir.
I'd like to move to approve the acquisition of water line easement at property located at 8253 Coldwater Road. $1,000. 8253 Coldwater Road.
I'll second the motion. I'll second.
And authorize Kim Thacker to make that payment using the Guilford County ARPA money.
Yeah, yes.
Any discussion? Call question, ready for the vote, Ms.
Aye.
Grigsby, Mr. Foy,
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
And I am also aye.
I have another motion, Mr. Mayor, concerning the Highway 65 Coldwater Road water main extension at property located at 8262 Coldwater Road. I move to authorize the special provisions for construction to include riprap at said property,
Authorize the mayor to execute.
and
that agreement.
authorize the mayor to execute such special provisions.
Can we get a monetary cap on that, Mr. Foy, somehow?
I think at this time, we were not going to do that.
Yeah,
Chuck?
I think my recollection was we had a ballpark estimate on the cost, but, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So we have an estimate of what,
I don't see how Ms. Thacker is authorized to write the check unless there's some,
No,
cap there.
it'd be part, it'd be a.
I think we're
in the form
looking,
of a change order, essentially.
I think we're looking,
same thing.
go ahead, Aaron. Yes, sir, please.
I'll second it.
Aaron Babson, Hayes and Sawyer. The special provision just is confirming to the homeowner that council agrees that we're going to put riprap back in that ditch. This does not authorize the contractor to do so until we instruct them to. So there's no cost necessarily associated with this. We've estimated the additional cost would be about $6,000. But need to confirm that, and the contractor has agreed that that estimate looks appropriate, but again, we don't know how deep the ditch is. And that's just based on lengths.
And with that, I would offer, hopefully by our next meeting, we would have a more concrete figure, not only from the contractor, but also agreement between all parties, and we would be able to authorize a more specific amount for the work to be done.
That's right. And the project is a unit price project, so we have a unit price for riprap, so we charge against that bid item. And then we'll reconcile with a change order at the end, unless there's a specific change. But we'll track that throughout the project. Would be the intent. But we think, so essentially what it is it's $7,600 worth of, I can pull out the paperwork, just approximately $7,600 worth of riprap minus about $2,000 or so so $1,600 of rolled erosion control matting that we wouldn't put in because we're replacing it with riprap.
I'm not questioning whether the price is fair or the procedure is fair. I don't know how we spend money out of this building unless we approve a dollar amount or a cap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I don't think we're there for that part yet, though, right?
We're not there. I mean, basically, so you've approved a bid price to the contractor, and so the contractor's approved up to that amount. If they exceed that amount, then that's when we would go for change orders, and we justify it by things like the riprap that was different than what the original bid price would be.
And this does not require the finance officer's signature. This is
an offer.
The change order in the future, should the project need one, right? I mean, if it had overruns, would require the finance signature
Well,
then.
are we,
absolutely.
I'm just asking myself the question, are we spending money here or are we not spending money? Are we just authorizing an administrative action or are we spending money?
In my opinion, we're authorizing an administrative action.
Okay.
Because there may be savings in other part of the project, I'm hearing, that might offset this.
Do you agree with my learned colleague that this is an administrative action?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? We'll take the vote. Mr. Rixby?
Aye.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
not quite yet. We have some announcements here. Town council announcements on 2/26/2026, regular town planning board meeting is scheduled for 7 o'clock in this room. On March the 3rd, we are scheduled to have the 2026 primary elections. That will be here in this room between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. On March the 10th, 2026, we have the regular town Board of Adjustment meeting scheduled for 7 o'clock in this room. And our next scheduled regular town council meeting is scheduled for March the 12th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in this room. Now we're ready for,
A motion to adjourn?
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okey dokey.
Boom, 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 boom.
Well,